Welcome to Mr. Amin's channel.
Therefore, I want to tell you 10 secrets to choose the best trip. Stay with me.
10.
Namibia. The remains of acacia trees have left a beautiful image in the Namib National Park. There are many tourist destinations in Africa, but Namibia is really like anywhere. The other is different. You can see lions, elephants, giraffes and gazelles and at the same time enjoy watching the delightful view of the desert.
9.
Alhambra, Spain. The Alhambra Palace and the citadel in front of it shines when the sun rises in Granada. I am a big fan of Islamic art. I think the details, geometry and colors are really great. The Alhambra is one of the most impressive examples of North African architecture and unique decorations in the world. That's why it's on my list.
8.
Saxon, Switzerland, Germany. The sun rises behind the Busti Mountains at Busti Bridge. The first time I looked at the image of Saxon, Switzerland, the summit of the mountains, was in it reminded me of a place like China. I was really surprised when I found out that these mountains and surrounding hills are in Europe.
7.
Beirut, Lebanon. Beirut has been involved in many problems in the Middle East in recent years that have affected its tourism industry. But in the world, as the excess of tourists is becoming a problem and tourists are looking for the most attractive places to eat, shop and view galleries, Beirut also has something to say. Man, I have not traveled to the Middle East, but Beirut is a place I would like to visit.
6.
St. Petersburg, Russia. Peterhof Palace, home of the biggest fountains. St. Petersburg is a classic city in my opinion. There are more than 400 bridges, magnificent buildings, onion-domed churches, and gardens and parks with stunning views in this city. Architecture is literally embodied here. I'm also fascinated by the history of the former Soviet Union, and if you look beyond the palaces, you'll see the Moscow skyline, Stalinist neoclassical architecture and the Soviet Apparatus Museum.
5.
Lahore and Spiti, India. The famous Shantidal Lake, which reflects a stunning image of the beauty of Lahore and Spiti. The attractive, icy, and remote scenery of this place, it is truly breathtaking. This area, which is located near Tibet, was affected by it. I traveled to India and almost fell in love with this country. When you can ski here, what is the need to go to the mountains of France or Italy?
4.
Easter Island. Easter Island is home to these heavy sculptures that were carved centuries ago. Easter Island in Chile is one of the special places. This island, which is 2,000 meters away from the first inhabited place, has 900 hairy statues scattered on the beach. The idea of carving these human-like statues was probably done to commemorate the ancestors, surrounded by only grass and the sound of the ocean.
3.
Statue of Genghis Khan on horseback, Mongolia. One of the biggest statues in the world is related to the statue of Genghis Khan in Mongolia. This is one of the highlights of the list, a 44-meter steel statue in the middle of a square in Mongolia.
2.
Yellowstone National Park, USA. The spectacular border of blue sea and green fields with yellow, orange and brown colors, gushing waterfalls and hot springs and classic pictures of volcanic Yellowstone is enough to be on the list of best places. It's incredible to see grizzly bears, buffalo and antlered reindeer in their natural habitat.
1.
Tokyo, Japan. Tokyo and Japan in general is at the top of my list to visit in fall 2020. Tokyo is home to high-tech, stunning skyscrapers, robot fairs, nightlife and fresh sushi, quiet gardens and Buddhist temples. There is always something fresher and weirder in Tokyo. I can't wait to see this dream city. I think Tokyo is like no other place on earth. If it is you, what other places of interest would you add to this list? Tell me in the comments. Of course, we should not forget that these cases are only a small part of the list of hundreds of this world tourists.
Thank you for your time. Subscribe me.